ASMR YouTube channel, and in today's video we are, of course, going to be talking about Chelsea. Let's talk about a topic I am very familiar with. Whilst discussing their recent form, possible transfer news, things like that, I haven't kept too up to date with it, mainly because I've been busy, very, very busy, and just trying to get back into the rhythm of working full days, proper days. My throat's making noise, and obviously Ziggy's barking, so I do apologise if you can hear that. But whilst we do this, let's go. Let's go for that. I'm just going to type in Chelsea. There we go. So Chelsea, their recent form hasn't been great. Drew to Bournemouth, drew to Crystal Palace, lost to Ipswich, lost to Fulham, drew to Everton, and actually the 15th of December was our last Premier League win, in which Kukure got sent off. He got a goal and sent off, and Jackson scored. Before that we beat Tottenham, and then obviously we've had Conference League games against Astana and Shamrock Rovers that we've won, and we've had a FA Cup third round game that we have won. So really looking at it, since the start of December we haven't played well at all. Beat Aston Villa, Southampton and Tottenham was a huge setup for us going into December, and then we've really faltered and dropped points now. The game at Everton 0-0, that was an awful game, hated it. We played Fulham and went 1-0 up, then conceded 2 goals late on. Then Ipswich scored early on and in the second half, and we just didn't play well. Crystal Palace, we scored early on and conceded late on. Bournemouth, we scored early on, conceded 2 in the second half, but then actually equalised really late on. But it's just not good enough. The form is not good enough. We're now 4 points behind Nottingham Forest, which I'm very happy about, by the way, with where they are. But the form isn't good enough now. If you cast your mind back to last year's Leicester City team that got promoted to the Premier League, they had a really, really solid start to the season, as has Chelsea. We then had a awful Christmas period, as has Chelsea, but then finished quite strong, so I'm hoping that replicates. If anyone told me we'd be in a Champions League spot at the end of the season 4 months ago, I'd have said fair play. I think that's a solid season. We need to be looking to get back into the Champions League and giving a good account for ourselves in the Carabao Cup. How are we doing in that? We lost to Newcastle, didn't we? So we're not in that. We've played in the third round of the FA Cup, so really we should be eyeing up the FA Cup. No, we should be eyeing up the Conference League. We need to get the Conference League win. I think that's going to be a big, big thing for Maresca. It is making sure that we win the Conference League. So I feel like now's the time to sort of reevaluate where we are, what our target should be, and what we need to expect. So definitely an okay cup run, I'd be happy. Quarter-finals, semi-finals of the FA Cup. I think we need to win the Conference League and we need to get top 4. I think that's a very reasonable target and it's very achievable as well. We've just got to perform well. I do think that a outstanding centre-back is very much needed at the club. Now, Disassi has spoken about leaving, and if I'm honest, couldn't care less. I think he's so up and down. It's unbelievable. He has one good game and 3 bad ones. Happy to see him go. To be fair, if we make any sort of money on him, fair play. I think, I think a big centre back is or was needed. But today we've recalled Chalobah. Now, 6 months ago, Maresca said that there's no space for him in the squad and that he wasn't going to be part of the plans, and that's fine. He knew where he stood and he left on loan and really wanted to prove himself. I think, albeit Crystal Palace haven't had a great season, they're down in 15th with only 4 wins. They've actually had 9 draws. And defensively, I don't think they've been all that bad. I think they had an awful start and then they've slowly found, peace. Lost to Everton, drew to United and lost to Liverpool for the first 3 games. Lost to Forest, who we now know have played really well. Beat Tottenham, drew to Wolves, drew to Aston Villa, lost to Fulham, drew to Newcastle, beat Ipswich, drew to Man City, so they are grinding out some draws. It's just their attack, now that they've lost Elise, isn't where it is at. It is not there anymore. But defensively, I think they've been okay. Not amazing, okay. And I think Chalobah and Gueye have been the 2 standout players by a country mile for them. And I'm happy that Chalobah's come back. I really want him to solidify a place in this team. I'm a big Chalobah fan. Don't particularly want to see him leave. So I'm glad that he's been recalled. And if that means Disassi's gone and we're just using Chalobah to cover, I'm fine with that. I do think the likes of I can't even think of the players' bloody names now. Let's go through. We've got first one on the list. I think Achiembong should be starting more games. He's been fantastic for us. Wesley Fofana's out for a long time again. He's going to be out for numerous months, so I think Chelsea could do with shipping him on as soon as possible and just writing that off because it's ridiculous. Badiashile, I'm happy if he leaves. Couldn't care less. Disassi, about as good as gone. Levi Colwill, hands down our best defender at the club. But outside Colwill, you've got Disassi, Badiashile, who are liabilities. You've got Wesley Fofana, who's injured. What's his face that I've just said? Where's he gone? We've got Tosin Adarabioyo. I think he's alright. Actually, I quite like Tosin Adarabioyo. I don't think he's too bad at all. And then Achiembong, who's 18 years old and just coming through. Bring in Chalobah back makes sense in terms of Fofana being out, Disassi leaving, potentially Badiashile leaving. So that makes sense, but I do think we need to go in and look for a big centre back. With that, Jonathan Tarr is coming up to the end of their contracts in 2025. I think if the club is savvy enough, I think they look, unless it's already agreed somewhere. No, I think that if the club's savvy enough, they go and look at him and say, look, can we offer you a contract? Come and play in the Premier League. I think he's an absolutely solid centre-back, to be fair. Pescagli, no. I'm just looking at players that are nearing the end of their contract. No one really of note there. Not really, okay. Also, there's talks that Ronaldo fake might be leaving. It was going to be permanent, but he's come out and said it. I don't want it to be permanent. I want it to be a a loan deal to go to Borussia Dortmund. Again, I don't really understand that because he wants to play centre back and we want him to play left back / CDM. So it's like, okay, surely that was spoken about when you joined the club, and if the club's gone against your wishes, then I can understand it. But you actually might get your chance to play centre back soon enough. Why don't Chelsea then go in for a left back instead of just selling Chilwell? Again, it doesn't really make sense. I think we'll wait and see on that one. But I like Jackson. I do rate him, and I know people are going to absolutely slew me for rating Nicholas Jackson. I think there's something there. I think he's fine. I think he's an average striker. I think if he was at a Crystal Palace putting out the numbers that he's putting out, you'd be saying, wow, what a season. If he was at, I don't know, a West Ham, you'd be saying it. Well, because it's at Chelsea, people slew him and people think he's awful. I mean, if you look at his numbers this season, in the Premier League alone, 9 goals, 4 assists. That's fine. In 20 matches, it's a goal every other game. But it's not what we need, is it? It's not what we need. Cole Palmer's doing Cole Palmer things. 14 goals and 6 assists in 21 matches from central attacking midfield. A striker should be doing better in this system. He should be. Mark Yu is okay. He's still very, very young. Nkunku's looking likely to be leaving because he wants to play behind a striker, which I get, but there's not really a place for him in the squad with Cole Palmer there. And I mean, I like Nkunku. I thought he was fantastic, absolutely fantastic at Leipzig. I can understand him wanting to leave Chelsea and get some more game time in proper competition. It makes sense. If Chelsea can recuperate £50 million back, then fair play to him. But I think use that money wisely. You've got João Felix at the club now. Go and use João Felix as your Cole Palmer replacement, and go out and get an out-and-out striker, please. Please go and get an out-and-out striker. There's no Jonathan David's ending the end of his contract. I've only looked at end of contract just because I thought it'd be who to look at. If needs to be, go get Gyökeres, whatever his name is. Ivan Toney's going for 28 million nowadays. Jonathan David's going to the end of his contract. Is cheap. Jimenez from Feyenoord. John Duran from Aston Villa. He's been killing it. More players. I don't really know who they probably look at getting. I mean, Osimhen. That's completely fallen off a cliff, hasn't it? Because he's joined Galatasaray. Omari Kellyman's here, but obviously I think he's outloaded Esteval. He's joined the club. We have Anselmino as well, I believe. He's joined in January. But again, I don't know who Chelsea will or will be looking at, or who they really want to go for. We need someone. We need someone that can just score goals. Who's it been linked to 13 hours ago? Liam Delap we're looking at. You know what? I don't even think that's a bad option. I think he absolutely rinsed us. And he had that attacking sort of prowess and aggression that Chelsea probably could do with at the minute. So that's that. They really need to up their form. I think the issue that they've got is they score a goal and then they're just not being clinical enough, and it's that clinicalness that needs to improve. We're having so many shots in the first half and then just conceding stupid goals. Stupid defensive errors, stupid times where Sanchez will pick up a ball. If you look at the likes of Liverpool, clinical. I know against Forest they weren't, but look where Forest are in the league. It is what it is. It's not really been much of a rant today. I do apologise. wise, it's not been that aggressive. It's not really been that positive either. I do think Chelsea are in a great spot. I think I'd rather be at the top of the table, like first to fifth, having a little bit of a slip up, and then trying to pick yourself up while you're at the top of the league, than being in Man United's position now. And this isn't a dig at Man United. This is more of a look at Man United now. They're in a bit of they've played 20 games. We're halfway through the season, and they are 12 points away from fifth. That's 4 wins before you've even jumped up to that place. Let alone, actually, to be fair, looking at them, 23 up to 17 points away from third place. Once you start getting to this sort of times of the season where you think, right, we've had a really bad run, let's pick it up and turn everything around. It's not just a case of, okay, we'll scrape out a couple of wins and then see where we go. It's they need to get wins now. There's no doubt about it. They are, what's this, 16, 7 points. 7 points from the relegation zone. And 7 points only puts them up to 9th. Wow. Tottenham's only 1 point above that. Wow. Southampton are on 6 points. That's a feat and a half, isn't it? Anyway, like I say, I'd rather be towards the top end of that table, trying to, I think we've got the worst run of form in the top half of the table right now. Yeah, and then it's Brighton. Brighton's actually probably better than us because they've got 4 draws and a loss. We've got 2 losses and 3 draws. That form is not a good look for Chelsea at the minute. We need to do something about that. Arsenal could go 6 points clear of us. And then Newcastle are only 2 points behind. Man City having an awful season and 2 points behind us right now. It speaks volumes, doesn't it? Bournemouth come within 3 points of us after that draw last night. Aston Villa are only 5 points behind us. Chelsea